Special thanks to Patreon supporter BrickBros2016 for making this video possible.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, Scared204 here bringing you another Minecraft Modern Warfare vehicle tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be going ahead and building the SA-330 Puma. The SA-330 Puma is a 4-bladed twin-engined medium transport / utility helicopter. The Puma was originally built by Sud Aviation of France and continued to be made by Aerospatiale. It was also licensed built in Romania as the IAR-330. Two unlicensed derivatives, the Denel Reykjavik and the Atlas Onyx, were made in South Africa. The Puma was a commercial success that was quickly developed into more advanced models such as the AS332 Super Puma and the AS532 Cougar, manufactured by Eurocopter since the early 1990s. These descendants of the Puma remain in production in the 21st century. The Puma has been seen in combat and in wide range of theaters by a number of different operators. Significant operations include the Gulf War, the South African Border War, the Portuguese Colonial War, the Yugoslav Wars, the Lebanese Civil War, the Iraq War, and the Falklands War. That type also saw popular use in civilian field and has been operated by a number of civil operators. The version we have right in front of us is the Royal Air Force, or RAF, version of the aircraft, which basically has a few little minor changes to it, and also the kind of the iconic RAF color scheme here with the kind of grays and greens and stuff like that. Overall, really nice looking helicopter and going to make a awesome addition to our ever-growing line of aircraft. And this aircraft here can be modified into a French Army one, Romanian, Pakistan, and you have a lot of countries you can put this helicopter in and just change the paint job, and you got yourself a different country paint or different country's version of the Puma. So overall, pretty cool aircraft. Before we go and take a look at it, I want to go to special links to Patreon supporter BrickBros2016 for making this tutorial possible. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel more, you guys already do, feel free to check out my Patreon page. Link is always in my video descriptions, where you can go and play a small amount to the channel every month, and in doing so, earn a vehicle request to your choosing. It really helps support the work I do on my channel and is obviously greatly appreciated. And yeah, again, feel free to check that out. Link is always in the video descriptions. But yeah, let's go ahead and kind of move in here to taking a look at the aircraft and seeing exactly what we'll be building. Obviously, we have both a landed and in-flight version for the helicopter. Since the landing gear is retractable, you will have two options available to you. The one on the bottom here, as you can see, has the landing gear, so we'll take a look at this one. But yeah, we have the iconic gray and green camouflage used by the Royal Air Force, especially during the Falklands War type time frame, so very similar in the background there. You can see our Ava Vulcan. We have lots of good detail on the aircraft. All the little instruments and stuff like that in the front here. The cockpit, really happy with the way it came out. I think the cockpit looks really nice. We have the engines up on top there, the blades. You can see this is the landed version, so we do have the weighted blades in effect, so they kind of slant down, as they are heavy and obviously gravity. Landing gear here, pretty simple little designs here, some nose, and then the ones that kind of pop out these, or fold out of these pods here, located on the sides. Little racks here for obviously disembarking and embarking the aircraft. Just various little details here, working our way back. The RAF Randall and a kind of unit or base identifier that this helicopter belongs to. Just various little details here and there around the rest of the helicopter, and we have the horizontal stabilizer and also the rear tail prop. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. That's the landed version, and obviously the in-flight version here, pretty much the same thing, except the landing gear retracted, and we have the blades here in kind of a angled type motion to show that the aircraft is in flight. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this aircraft. Pretty cool aircraft overall. Gonna be a really awesome tutorial, and been a long time since we've done a British helicopter, so nice to come back and revisit it. Anyways, let's go and move into the tutorial by beginning with our first layer. Alright guys, so going ahead and moving into our tutorial here, we'll go ahead and start off with layer number 2. Now we're starting with layer 2 because it gives us a better basis for the aircraft and kind of easier to go ahead and build layer 1 onto layer 2 rather than build layer 2 onto layer 1. In addition, if you're completely new to my aircraft tutorials, the way I like to structure these tutorials is I like to do half on camera, half off. What this means is, for the most part, this aircraft is completely symmetrical, so whatever we do on one side will be the same on the other side. What this basically means is we're going to be going ahead and building the center line of the aircraft, and then we're going to build the entire right side, and it'll be up to you guys in between layers to copy the right side over to the left side. It's pretty simple, and every layer I'll give you a top-down view so you know what's going on. In addition, this aircraft does have an option to put a camouflage on it. However, we're going to be going ahead and building it in a complete gray color scheme using just stone blocks. And then we'll be adding the camouflage on at the end. I feel it's a little bit easier to do it this way rather than trying to build the camouflage along with each layer. So that's something that we will be covering at the end of the video. So it's all going to be in a tan color scheme right now. So you can go and choose whatever colors you want to make this helicopter. If you want to make the camo scheme I'm using, just know we're going to be coming back to that a little bit later. Also, if you want to do the in-flight landed version, we will be doing a modification to the in-flight version. So we're going to be building the in-flight version without the landing gear to begin with, and then we're going to be going ahead and going back and the landing gear on and doing the 2 different rotor types and stuff like that. So again, if you're wondering, we're going to be doing the landing gear at the end of the video. So if you do want to build this landed, one thing to take into consideration here when we start layer 2 is that you want layer 2 here to be 2 full blocks of space from the ground level. As you can see, the ground level here, and we have 2 full blocks of space between basically the floor here and the ground level. Very important because obviously if it's a little off there, it's not going to sit fully properly. So let's go and get started here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to place down a stone block. Coming off the stone block, we're going to place down a stone top slab going forward. We then want to place down a dark oak wood fence gate coming off that stone top slab. And we're going to have the fence gate opened up toward the front of the aircraft. So obviously our aircraft is going to be facing that direction, so we're going to have the fence gate opened up in that direction. Coming off the fence gate, we're going to place down an item frame, and in the item frame we're going to place down a snowball. After that, going back from the fence gate, we're going going back from the stone block here, we're going to count back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 additional stone blocks. You should have a row of 6 here of stone blocks after the slab. We're going to place down a light gray shulker box, so upside down. So to do this, we're going to place down a block above this space, go to the bottom here, and place down a shulker box that drops down like that. We're going to then place down a polished andesite block, another upside down shulker box, and 1, 2, 3, and 4 stone top slabs, stone full blocks with a stone top slab on the end there. Moving out to the sides here, very simply, we're going to place down an air brick top slab coming on the side of that stone top slab. After that, we're going to place down a stone block back from that air brick top slab, a skeleton skull, and then going ahead and going back from the stone full block there, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 additional stone blocks back. We're going to go then place down a row of 3 of upside down light gray shulker boxes, so just like that. And we're going to go then place down a row of 1, 2, 3, and 4 stone full blocks back, followed by a stone top slab there on the end. Going to the sides here, after our skeleton skull here, we're going to place down a stone top slab, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4 upside down stone stairs. We're going to then place down a stone brick wall, followed by a stone upside down stair, stone brick wall, stone upside down stair, and a stone brick wall. After that stone brick wall there, we're going to take our stone full blocks, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3 stone full blocks back, and then a stone top slab there on the end. Our next row here, we want to go ahead and place down a stone upside down stair coming off the side of this full block, like so. Oops, like this. And then we're going to place down 1 and 2 stone full blocks back, and then a stone top slab. And then we're going to place down an iron trapdoor coming off that one. We're going to do the same row to the side here, so an upside down stone stair, 2 stone full blocks, stone top slab, iron trapdoor. We then want to go to the sides of the 2 stone full blocks here. We're going to place down iron frame, iron trapdoors, and we're going to use a debug stick. If you have access to a debug stick, you can go and very simply make a selection on these trapdoors, and we're going to go and select open to false. We're going to change that to open to true, and this will basically open the trapdoors and close them on the side there, or put them up against the blocks like that for a little bit more shaping. If you do not have access to the debug stick, you can go ahead and use dark oak wood trapdoors, or you can use birchwood trapdoors. Either one will work for this build. Probably dark oak wood trapdoors will look a little bit better. That's my recommendation personally. But those are 2 options there for putting those trapdoors on the sides. Anyways, that right there is going to complete layer number 2 for the build. Here's what it should look like from up above. And with that, we'll go ahead and drop down to layer number 1. Alright guys, so moving into layer 1. Layer 1's a pretty simple layer. We're just going to go ahead and drop down to the bottom here of our aircraft. We're going to go down from each one of these these skeleton skulls, and we're going to place down a nether brick fence post that drops down like so. It's going to be coming down. Alright guys, so moving into layer 1. Layer 1, what we're going to do here is we're going to go and drop down to these wither skeleton skulls. We're going to go down from each one of these wither skeleton skulls, and we're going to place down a nether brick fence post. We then want to go ahead and place down an andesite wall that comes down from this skeleton skull right here, and this is going to be on the left side and the left side only of the aircraft. Once we get to this point here, we want to go ahead and go to the bottom here, and we're going to go ahead and go to this stone block, place a lever facing toward the outside here, followed by a second lever. We're going to then place down a stone button on this shulker box here, facing that direction, and then we're going to place down 2 more levers like that facing toward the outside. We're going to go ahead and go to the other side here, and we're going to do the same thing. So 1, 2 levers, 1, 2. Stone button here in the middle, and we're also going to place down a stone button on these shortcut boxes here on the insides. We then want to go ahead and grab ourselves a skeleton skull. We're going to place down a skeleton skull coming off this lever here on the 2 sides. And we want to go and then grab ourselves a end rod, and we're going to be placing down an end rod that goes between these skeleton skulls. So 1, 2, 3. And same thing over here, skeleton skull on both sides here. And then a row of 1, 2, and 3 end rods across between those skeleton skulls. And that right there is going to basically complete what we have there for layer number 1. Some simple additions there on the bottom, nothing too crazy. Again, as I mentioned, layer 1's a little bit easier to add on once we have layer 2 done. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to layer number 3. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we have layer number 3. For layer 3 to go ahead and get started with here, we want to go ahead and place down a stone block on top of this dark oak fence gate up here in the front. Coming off that stone block, we're going to place down an iron trapdoor, and using our debug stick, we're going to make sure we open it so it's up flat against the side here of that stone block. After that's done, going ahead and going back, we're going to place down a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 black concrete. Now this row of black concrete here is basically if you decide not to do an interior. Instead of having a big open void visible from the outside, using black concrete here to kind of close off the cockpit makes it look a little bit nicer, I think, personally, from looking at it from the outside in. If you are doing an interior, then you can go and completely disregard this, and you can go ahead and fill this in completely or leave the space completely open if you do want to build an interior. But anyways, that's it for our center line here in the front. Going to the rear here, we want to go ahead and go to our center top slab, so this one right here. We're going to place a nice stone block that goes up from it at an angle, like so, and then a top slab that goes back from that stone block. Once that's done, go ahead and go back up to the front here. We're going to place down a light gray stained glass pane on the side of the stone block, and then coming off it over their skeleton skull here toward the front. When we have that done, go ahead and go back from this pane. We're going to place down 1 and 2 stained glass full blocks, and then 1, 2, and 3 black concrete blocks, again if we choose to close the space off our interior. If not, you'll leave this space of 3 open. Once we have that done, go ahead and go into the sides here. We're going to place down a stone button on the side of this first black stained glass full block, and then we're going to place down an andesite wall behind it, a stone block, and then we want to place down a shulker box on its side like so. Going back from the shulker box, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 stone blocks back, a stone stair, an andesite wall, and we're going to go next to the andesite wall, place down a stone full block, and then a stone top slab coming off that stone full block. We then want to go ahead and go to the sides here. We're going to place down 2 iron trapdoors on top of those 2 iron trapdoors there. Going forward from this, we're going to place down 2 stone slabs, 2 stone full blocks, and there are 2 stone full blocks. And we want to go and then place down a stone stair here, and a polished black stone stair there right next to it. After that, on the sides here, we're going to grab ourselves some acacia wood buttons, and we want to go and just place down a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 acacia wood buttons that are on the side for basically the outline of the door here. And we also want to go and grab a tripwire hook, and we're going to place down a tripwire hook on the side of this shulker box here toward the front. And that right there is going to pretty much do it for this layer here, layer number 3. And with that, we'll go ahead and move into our next layer, layer number 4. Alright guys, going ahead and moving into our next layer here, we have layer number 4. For layer 4 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to place down a daylight detector, turn it to night mode, and place it down on top of the stone full block. Going back from that daylight detector, we're going to go and place down a black stained glass block. We then also want to go ahead and go to the rear here, and for our rear center line, we're going to go ahead and go to the stone top slab in the center here. So this middle one here, we're going to place down a stone block that goes up and at an angle back from it, followed by a stone top slab and then an iron trapdoor coming off that stone top slab. Going back up to the front here, we're going to place down a iron bar on top of this wither skeleton skull here in the front, followed by a light gray stained glass pane coming off the side of this black concrete block, or black stained glass block. We're going to place down our black stained glass block back, this time with a black stained glass pane here to the side, and then we're going to go back 1 and 2 black stained glass full blocks. On the sides of those blocks, we can go ahead and place down 2 stone buttons as well. Once we have that done, we're going to take our stone blocks, and we're going to go ahead and count back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stone blocks back, followed by a row of 1, 2, 3, 4 andesite walls. On the inside here, the andesite walls, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4 stone blocks, followed by one more stone block that goes toward the rear here, so a row of 5 there, and then a stone top slab like that, and that should connect you up to your center point there. To the sides, we want to go and grab ourselves an item frame. So we'll go to our creative menu, grab an item frame, place it down on top of this stone block here, and in that item frame, we're going to place down a stone block like so. If you're on Java Edition, you can go ahead and also place down a stone button that goes on the same block space as the item frame. If you're on console editions or Bedrock, you will not be able to basically do this, as this technique does not work. If that's the case, just place the item frame in the stone block, and that's all you really need to do there. Then you'll be fine. And then lastly, we're going to want to go and go to the sides here. And for our doors, we're going to place down a tripwire hook that goes up on the stone block above the center acacia wood button. And then up from these acacia wood buttons on the sides here, we're going to place down one more that goes up like that to create more of the shaping there for our door. So again, same thing there on both sides there. And once we have that all complete, that is going to wrap up what we have there for layer number 4. With that, let's go ahead and move into layer number 5. Alright guys, so going ahead and moving into our next layer here, we have layer number 5. One quick thing I want to cover, if you are again wanting to close off the cockpit canopy from the outside, we will want to take our black concrete and place down a row like this from the previous layer. It's just going to go ahead and go across this space here, and again going to contribute to filling in this part of the canopy. But yeah, we're just going to go and do this one row here, and again, that's only if you're filling in the cockpit, because you don't want to basically do an interior. Anyways, once we get to this point, we can go ahead and continue on. What we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and go up from this black stained glass block. We're going to place down another black stained glass block here with a stone button coming off of it like so, to go ahead and make that front section there. And that's going to do it for our front blocks in our center line, and then go into the rear here. We're going to start off by placing a nice stone block on top of this iron trapdoor. We're going to go back from it. 1, 2, 3 stone blocks, a stone upside down stair, 1, 2, 3, and 4 stone top slabs. A dark oak fence gate opened up toward the stone top slab, followed by 2 end rods going back, and also on both sides of this fence gate, we're going to be placing down a dark oak wood sign, like so. After that's done, going ahead and going back up to the front here, we're going to go and work our way out to the sides. For this, we're going to place down a light gray stained glass pane next to this black concrete, or this black stained glass block. We're going to place down another black stained glass block back, and this time we're going to place down a skeleton skull here to the side of that block. We then want to go ahead and go back from the skeleton skull with another black stained glass block and a stone button like that. And we're going to then place down 2 more stone blocks going back. We then want to place down another black stained glass block, stone block, black stained glass, stone block, black stained glass, 2 stone blocks, and a black stained glass block. Now again, if you are wanting to choose to fill in the interior here, we're going to take our black concrete, place our row of 3 across this section here. And we can also place down a black concrete block here behind each of these windows. Like so. And now kind of close off the windows like that. You can choose to leave these open as well, so you can kind of see through the windows to the air side, see through the helicopter. But again, that's kind of up to you guys again and what you're trying to go for with this helicopter. Anyways, once we get to this point here, we're going to go and then go off of this black stained glass block here. We're going to place down a row of 1, 2, 3, 4 andesite walls back. On the inside here, we're going to go along these walls 1, 2, 3, 4 stone blocks. And then an additional 1, 2, and 3 back, so you have yourself a row of 7 of stone blocks. We then want to place down a row of 1, 2, and 3, and andesite walls back, like that along the side. And once we have that all done, we're going to then grab our acacia wood buttons. We're going to place down an acacia wood button that goes up here, and one right here like that for our doors. And with that all complete there, that's going to wrap up what we have for layer number 5 for the build. And again, here's an overview of what it should look like so far. And with that, let's go ahead and move on to layer number 6. Alright guys, moving into our next layer here, we have layer number 6. For layer 6 to go ahead and get started with here, we want to go ahead and go up and back from this light gray stained glass block from the middle in the center line here. We're going to place down a black stained glass block, followed by an item frame coming off of it with a stone block in the item frame. If you are on Java Edition, again, you can go and place a dark oak wood sign over this item frame on the side of the block. However, if you are on Bedrock Editions, you won't be able to do this, so if that's the case, just go ahead and place down the item frame instead. We then want to go and go to the sides of this black stained glass block. We're going to place down a light gray stained glass pane, and we're going to follow this up by placing down a light gray stained glass, or a black stained glass block going back from that pane. Going back to the center here, going off this center black stained glass block, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23 stone blocks back, followed by a red concrete block, a stone block, and then a andesite wall there on the end. Once we have that done, we have our center line done, and we're going to go and start working our way out to the sides. Going back from this black stained glass block here, we're going to take our stone blocks, again do a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 stone blocks back. We're going to then place down a row of 2 of stone stairs, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 andesite walls back, like so. We're going to then place down a row of 1, 2, and 3 of polished black stone walls back. And then on the very back here, we want to go and grab an item frame, a white bed, and also a acacia wood sign. We're going to place down an item frame here on the side of this red concrete block. We're going to place down a item frame with the bed rotated around so it's facing this direction here. So on both sides, you want the pillow kind of facing up toward the rear, up at an angle. So like that on both sides. And we're going to then place down an acacia wood sign over that item frame. Again, if you're able to, if your version of Minecraft allows. So that'd be the same thing there on both sides. After that, we want to go and then go back up to the front and again work our way out to the sides. We're going to place down a black stained glass pane on the side here, and then going back from it, we're going to take stone stairs and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stone stairs back, and then 1, 2, and 3 and side walls. After that, we're going to go and then take our skeleton skulls. We're going to place down a skeleton skull on top of this wall here, and then they're going to have a slight angle going back like that. And once we get to this point here, this kind of comes into doing some banner work and also this last thing here on the end. So we'll go ahead and go to this first from the front polished black stone wall. We're going to place down a skeleton skull, end rod, and then another skeleton skull like that on the side going forward. Now once we get to this point here, we have our two banners. The first banners here are the letters DA. Now this doesn't really represent anything in particular. It's just basically a random designation I put on the side of the aircraft. Usually this is the two-digit or two-lettered base code or abbreviation to tell the origin of this aircraft. However, this isn't really based off anything in particular, at least from my knowledge. So you can go and make up your own banners, but basically you're going to need two letters, and you're going to place down D and A on the right side like this, or whatever two letters you have on the left side there, and then on the right side, and then on the left side here, it's going to be coming off the stair, and then next to this wall. So you basically want it to read left to right, DA and DA. Now, again, those banners can be whatever you guys want. There's plenty of tutorials on YouTube that show you guys how to make those banner tutorials or lettered banners and stuff like that. So you'll be able to make exactly what you guys want. But I'm not going to be showing you guys exactly what to do because it's really up to you guys. You can do a lot of different variations and combinations for letters you want on the side of the aircraft. Anyways, the one banner I will be showing you guys how to make is to make this little kind of simple RAF type Randall logo. So we'll go ahead and move into making that now with our banners in Loom. Alright guys, so going ahead and moving into making this RAF Randall on the back here. Super simple design. All we're going to do is two red banners, two blue dye, and a loom. We're going to go into our loom, place our red banner into our loom, and our blue dye. We're going to go and select the bottom left hand corner, and this right here is going to put this blue square in the corner. And we're going to take that same banner, put it back into our loom, and this time we're going to go and select the top left corner, and we get a banner that looks just like this. That's our first banner out of the way. So for our next banner here, we're going to place down a red banner in the loom, our blue dye, and we're going to then do the opposite. So we're going to go ahead and select the bottom right and then the top right, and you get a banner that looks just like that. And we go and then take this banner and we can go and go to the side wall and the stair. We'll place down the two banners like that with the red facing toward each other, and that's going to be like that on the right side. And the left side here, it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be on these two inside walls after the DA. So that's basically what you want to do there for both sides there. Pretty simple stuff. Again, if you are doing the camouflage, you can change the background of these letters to green instead of gray. Again, kind of it depends really upon you guys and what you're doing for your aircraft. Anyways, that right there is going to cover what we have here for this layer. With that, let's go ahead and move into our next layer, layer number 7. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we have layer number 7. For layer 7 to go ahead and get started with here, we want to go ahead and begin by placing down a skeleton skull on top of this black stained glass block here in the front. We're going to then place down two inside walls back, a row of 1, 2, 3, and 4 stone blocks, a black concrete block, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stone blocks again. We're going to go then place down a row of 1, 2, 3, 4 stone slabs, followed by a row of 5 of daylight detectors turned to night mode, and then 4 iron trapdoors, like so, after those 5 daylight detectors. On the rear here, we're going to place down 2 stone blocks, and then an andesite wall like that coming off the center there, and that's going to do it there for our center line there of the aircraft. Moving to the sides here, we're going to start off by placing down a light gray shulker box on its side like this. And we're going to then go back from it, placing down a wither skeleton skull like that. We then want to place down a black concrete block behind that shulker box, and then to the sides of that block, we want to go and place down a stone button on both ends like that. We're going to then go back from the stone button with a iron bar and a narrow black concrete block. We're going to then place down a stone block, followed by a polished andesite block. On the sides here on the iron trapdoor and these black concrete block and this stone block, we're going to go and place down our trapdoors, and we're going to be going ahead and taking our debug stick, and we're going to go and make sure that we change these to the correct position. Again, you can use dark oak with trapdoors instead if you do not have access to a debug stick. Anyways, once we get to this section here on the sides of this black concrete block, we're going to place down a stone button. We're going to then place down our polished andesite block, stone block, and then we're going to place down a row of 3 of andesite walls back, and then a skeleton skull here at a slight angle going back from those andesite walls. And once we have that all done there, that is going to basically wrap up what we have here for this layer. Here's what it looks like from the top-down view. And right there is going to complete layer number 7. With that, let's go ahead and move into layer number 8. Alright guys, so going ahead and moving into our next layer, we're going ahead and moving into layer number 8. For layer 8 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to place down a stone, first off, we're going to place down a stone slab on top of the stone block right here. We're going to then place down a second stone slab back from it. We then want to place down a stone block, a black concrete block, a polished black stone wall, another black concrete block, 2 stone blocks, a polished black stone stair, an item frame coming off the polished black stone stair with a dark liquid sign over it, if we're able to do that, and in that item frame we're going to place down a black concrete block like that. Going ahead and moving to the sides here, we're going to place down a stone button on top of this black concrete block here, followed by 2 daylight detectors going back from it, turn to the night mode. We're going to then place down a andesite wall, followed by 2 stone full blocks, and then 3 andesite walls back, and then a skeleton skull on both sides of this polished black stone stair, like that for the front. Moving to the tail here, we just want to go ahead and go on top of the second stone block here. We're going to place down a stone block on top of it, followed by a second block back, and then an andesite wall, like that on the rear there. Now, once we get to this point here, I recommend building both sides of this all together till we get to this point right here. Now, once you build both sides over, we do have the horizontal stabilizer, which comes into play on this layer. Now, this horizontal stabilizer here is really simple. All we're going to be doing is going ahead and going to our stone full block here. So, we're going to go ahead and go to this one right here. And we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stone top slabs to the side. Come off those 5 stone top slabs, we're going to place down a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 iron trapdoors toward the rear here. And on those iron trapdoors, we're going to place down stone pressure plates, like so. We then want to go ahead and grab our end rods, and we're going to place down an end rod coming off this first iron trapdoor here, and then the second to last one on the side here, like that. And that'll be on like that for our horizontal stabilizer. Now again, that only comes off to the left side of the aircraft, so we're going to go ahead and just do it to the left side, and we're going to completely leave the right side alone. So that right there is basically what you want for here for this layer. Make sure to take note of that off-centered design we have there on the tail. But with that all complete, that is going to wrap up what we have there for layer number 8. And with that, let's go ahead and move into our final layer here, layer number 9. Alright guys, so going ahead and move into our final layer here, we have layer number 9. Now for layer 9 here, to go ahead and get started, what we want to do is we're going to be going ahead and doing this layer all together. It's pretty straightforward and simple. We're going to go and start off with taking iron trapdoors and place down a row of 3 across this front section here on top. We then want to place down a end rod on top of that black concrete block, a iron trapdoor to both sides, a polished black stone wall, and again an iron trapdoor to both sides like that. After that, we want to go ahead and then place down a actually where these polished andesite or these iron trapdoors are, we're actually going to place down end rods. We then want to go and place down a end rod on this black concrete block, and then a iron trapdoor to both sides. We're going to place down a row of 3 of iron trapdoors across, followed by a andesite wall here in the center, and then a iron trapdoor again to both sides like that. After that's done, we're going to then move to our tail here. We want to go and place down a stone block on top of this one right here, and then a stone slab back from it like so. Now once we get to this point, we're going to go and go to the right side, and the right side only. We're going to go to this stone block right here. We're going to place down a end rod and then a gray shulker box coming off of it. Since the rotors here are kind of the same for both the in-flight and landed versions, we can go ahead and also just go ahead and put our tail rotor onto our aircraft. Now, first things first, going ahead and going back to this stone block here, we're going to place down a, this gray shulker box, we're going to place down a stone button there on the side. We then want to go and take our polished black stone, we're going to place down a wall that goes up like this, and then a sandstone wall on top of that. To the sides here, we're going to place down a polished black stone slab, and then we want to go and go up from that slab with a birchwood top slab. And same thing over here, so just like that. And from this point here, we're going to then grab ourselves a stair. We're going to go ahead and go down from this stair, and we're going to go out to the side with the stair like this. So same thing over here on both sides here, and we want to go and then drop down from the stair with a sandstone wall, like so. And these slabs right here, we're actually going to move up one, so this is actually going to be a top slab to both sides here, and this right here is going to be a birchwood slab on top of this one instead of a top slab. So it's going to look like that there for the tail rotor, and that will basically be the same for both the in-flight and landed versions. So that's pretty much good there. Alright guys, and once that tail rotor is complete, we pretty much have the basic design here done for the aircraft. At this point right here, we're going to go ahead and move into our different sections of the video, which will include the camo, the in-flight rotors, the landed rotors, and also the landing gear. So you will be able to go ahead and skip ahead to wherever parts you need to. So if you want to go ahead and skip ahead to the landed rotors, you'll be able to go ahead and do that right away. Take a look at the video time bar, which is split into sections that you can go and scroll to wherever you need to go, or you can take a look at a little bit easier in the description. There's the timestamps that will take you to each different part of the tutorial depending on what you're going to be going for. Our next section we're going to go ahead and move into is doing the camouflage. Since we pretty much have the main body of the aircraft complete, we can go ahead and add in the camouflage, and I'll show you guys how to do that, which will be a little bit more brief covering. And then we'll go ahead and move into our various other sections for that. So feel free to check that out. Again, skip ahead to wherever you guys need to, so you're not wasting your time watching a section that you're not going to build. Anyways, let's go ahead and move into our camo. Alright guys, so moving into our camouflage. Now our camouflage for this aircraft is pretty straightforward, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this as a lot of you guys can just build this for yourselves. One thing I do want to mention that is if you are wanting to do this camouflage, we're going to be going and taking our stone and basically putting some green into it. And what we're basically doing here is just kind of wrapping stripes around the aircraft going all the way down. We're going for about a 50-50 type covering. I think the model I have over there is probably more of like a 60-40, maybe like a 30-70 more stone. But again, you can do whatever you want. I also recommend maybe going and looking at pictures of actual camouflages for the SA330 Puma and gain an even better kind of idea of what you want to do for it. But basically, kind of brief summary, we're going to go ahead and start off by picking our spot, and we're going to start here in the nose. So for the nose here, we'll go ahead and kind of start from this corner and have it kind of come down like this at an angle. So we're going to go ahead and kind of swap these blocks out here. You can see here replacing with dark oak wooden slabs for our slab sections, mossy cobblestone walls for our walls, and our green terracotta for our stone full blocks. So we kind of have it come down like this, and we can also go ahead and have the frame here for the around the cockpit windows actually changed as well. So we can even change these panes here to a green color if we do want to. So it kind of flows up here and moves into that section. Moving back, we can go ahead and have the same thing here. So since we do have stone brick walls, we can kind of mimic that texture by using a mossy stone brick wall. And we'll start from this section here, and we're going to go ahead and place down a couple dark oak wood stairs, and we'll have this kind of flow up into the upper sections here of the aircraft. Now one thing to note is if you do break any blocks that have buttons, tripwire hooks, anything like that on them, make sure you go ahead and replace those. It can be very easy to forget those, so I do recommend replacing them as soon as you break them, just so that there's no worry of you deleting, you know, some important little details and stuff like that on the aircraft. So as you can see, I'm just kind of wrapping it up into this top section up here. We can go and change that block out and kind of have it flow up into here, and we can even change those walls out there for some mossy cobblestone walls. And the thing is we're doing here is since we're wrapping a kind of a stripe, we're going to go and wrap this all the way around to the air side of the aircraft. So it's going to kind of come down this way. We'll change that glass pane out. We'll change this skeleton skull for a zombie head, which will give us that green color. And then we'll go and drop down from this, and we'll kind of have it flow into this section here. We can go ahead and also change out those stone buttons, since again that's kind of more of the framework there for the windows. We can go ahead and change those to dark oak wood, as those would be kind of painted in the green. And we'll kind of have it drop down like this, so it changes those glass panes here, and it'll kind of flow into this section here on the bottom. And we'll change this out here on the bottom there as well, zombie head here, and we can change this wall out for a mossy cobblestone wall, as well as if we want this can be green and mossy cobblestone wall there. So you can kind of get a general idea of what we're doing here. I'll go ahead and kind of do one more stripe around. We can even make this stripe a little bit thicker. We don't have to make it like perfectly like, you know, the way it is. Kind of do like a weird kind of formation there. But yeah, back here we can have it kind of start from the landing gear pod. So right here in this section, and kind of flow up this way. So maybe we'll have it kind of come back a little bit further. And also behind these walls, you can go ahead and also place down green terracotta, just kind of make them look a little bit more kind of consistent green, as there are some gaps sometimes in those walls. But we'll have it kind of flow up this way, and kind of be a little bit more of a thicker type stripe here. So again, replace any blocks we break. We're going to go ahead and keep the polished andesite, as that's kind of actual bare metal there. Stainless steel for the kind of to deal with the heat, give it that heat resistance, as that's the exhaust there of the aircraft. So we're going to keep the polished andesite there, and we're going to get to the top up here. We can place down some dark oak with trapdoors, which kind of help cover up the top there a little bit and kind of flow there. So you can kind of see the basic general idea of what we're doing here for our kind of like flow in this design. It really isn't anything too complicated. It's something that you can just play around with and definitely do yourselves. That's probably all I'm going to spend really doing the camouflage, as you know, that's really the main gist of it. And if you need to, you can go ahead and refer to the other model here, kind of the beginning of the video where I showed you guys a little bit more in depth. But that's basically the general idea. Take that same design and kind of continue on all the way back to the around the aircraft, and you'll get yourself a pretty cool design. Don't hesitate also to have the stripes kind of flow across the bottom here of the aircraft as well, and start over here on this side. So again, you can kind of play around with that, create a nice camouflage for the aircraft, but that's basically how the basic general idea of how to go ahead and go about doing the RAF kind of camo scheme on this helicopter. Anyways, with that, let's go ahead and move into our rotors, which is going to start with the in-flight rotors. Alright guys, so going ahead and moving into our in-flight rotors. Our in-flight rotors here are pretty straightforward, and yeah, should be pretty easy to build. To begin with, we're going to place down a black concrete block on top of this wall here, and we want to go ahead and place down a stone brick upside down stair coming off both sides of this black concrete block. So just like this, to all four sides, like that. Then on top of those stairs there, we're going to place down polished blackstone buttons, which are facing this direction all the way around, and then a polished blackstone slab there on the very top. After this, we're going to place down an end rod coming off the backs of those stairs in all four directions, and then a polished andesite top slab that goes off those end rods. So just like this all the way around. And going ahead and moving into our first blade, we're going to be going ahead and starting with the one that comes off to the right side here. And now, these can be kind of arranged really however you, well, not necessarily, I was going to say they can be arranged however you guys want, but really we kind of have a specific direction that the blades are facing and also a specific angle. So realistically, this is going to be kind of the same across all versions here that you're going to want to do. To begin with, go ahead and go into this slab here. We're going to take our polished blackstone slabs. We're going to place down a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now this is on the right side, again, so make sure you take that into account. We then want to go ahead and go off these slabs facing toward the front here. We're going to place down 2 wither skeleton skulls, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 slabs out to the side here, and then a wither skeleton skull like that. Now over on our opposite side here, we're going to do the same thing, coming off this polished andesite top slab. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we want to go and then go toward the rear here, or so the sides of the slabs facing toward the back, and we're going to place down 2 wither skeleton skulls, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 slabs back, and then a skeleton skull, like so. And that right there will basically be the same thing there, or those two rotors done. And as you can see here, they're basically kind of flipped from each other, like that. Once we have that done, we're going to work on our front one. So our front one here, we're going to go to this polished andesite top slab, and we want to go and place down a row of 5 polished blackstone top slabs coming off of it, going forward. To the sides here, we're going to place down 1 and 2 polished, or 1 and 2 wither skeleton skulls, and then 1, 2, and 3 polished andesite or polished blackstone top slabs. We then want to go and drop down to a row of 5 here again, so this is going to drop down, be a top slab like so. So we have a top slab right there, and this right here is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 back. So you have a row of 11 there in total of those polished blackstone slabs. Then to this side here, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 back. So yeah, so it's going to stick out 1 pass there. And then we're going to place down a wither skeleton skull there on the side of the slab facing toward the right side. And that's going to do it for your front blade. And then for our last blade here, we're going to go to this top slab here. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 top slabs back. We're going to go to the side here. We're going to place down 1, 2 wither skeleton skulls, and then 1, 2, 3 polished blackstone top slabs. We then want to go and go up from this with a polished blackstone slab. And then this center row here, we're going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then our next row next to it, we're going to go back 7, like this, and then a wither skeleton skull here on the side of the slab, like down the back. And right there is going to do it for the in-flight rotors, and as you can see there, pretty straightforward design, nothing too complex with those rotors. And you go ahead and basically finish that off, and once you have that done, you have the in-flight version for the aircraft all complete. We're going to now move into the landed rotors, and from that we'll be moving on to the landing gear. So those of you guys that want to have those extra options, those will be available to you also. But anyways, that's it for the in-flight version of the aircraft. Let's go ahead and move into the landed version. Alright guys, so going ahead and moving into our landed rotors. For our landed rotors here, we're going to go and start off by going ahead and go into this top section here. We're going to place down a black concrete block on top of this polished black stone wall there. We then want to go ahead and place down a stone brick upside down stair, coming off all four sides of this black concrete block, and they should be on top of these end rods, like so. Now, once we have that all done, that'll basically do it around the sides there. We then want to go ahead and go from the backs of these stone brick stairs here, and we're going to place down end rods wrapped all the way around, and we're going to then place down a polished black stone slab here on top, and then polished black stone buttons that wrap all the way around those stairs like so. After that's done, going ahead and going off these stairs, we're going to place down a polished andesite top slab, going in all four directions, coming off those end rods. To start off with, for our first blade here, we're going to go to our front one. We're going to place down a row of 1, 2, 3, and 4 top slabs on the side here, and then go into the left side. We're going to place down 2 wither skeleton skulls on the sides there, and then 2 top slabs like that going back. We're going to then drop down from those top slabs. We're going to place down half slabs. We're going to place down a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slabs going down. We're going to then drop down again. Our center line here, we're going to place down 2 top slabs, and then our row to the side here, we're going to place down 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to place down a wither skeleton skull like that on the side of the slab, facing toward the right side. After that's done, go ahead and moving into our blades to the sides here. We're going to go to the left side, and we're going to place down a row of 1, 2, 3, 4 polished black stone top slabs. We're going to place down 2 wither skeleton skulls facing toward the rear, 2 polished black stone top slabs here. We're going to drop down from each of those slabs there, and we're going to place down 2 rows of 5 of top slabs going back. We're going to drop down again. We're going to do a row of 2 of top slabs here, and then a row of 3, like this, with the wither skeleton skull face on the side facing toward the front. Next one facing toward the back here, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4 top slabs, 2 wither skeleton skulls, 2 top slabs, drop down 2 rows of 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to go and drop down again, and this right here is going to be a row of 3, and then a row of 2, and a wither skeleton skull like that. If you do get any trapdoors kind of bugging out and being kind of weird, you can go ahead and use a debug stick here to close them if you need to, as the shadows there will kind of mess with it, or you can just change the daylight detectors there to the day version. But again, they can kind of be a little glitchy and weird. Anyways, once we get to this point, we're going to go to this last one here. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4 top slabs like this, 2 wither skeleton skulls, 2 top slabs, drop down 2 rows of 5. So like this, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Drop down again. We're going to go and do a row of 3. 1, 2, 3 of top slabs, 1, 2, and then a wither skeleton skull on the side of that slab like that. And once you have that all done, that's going to do it there for the landed version rotors. So as you can see, they're kind of weighted all the way around the aircraft, and that right there is going to complete those landed versions. With that, let's go ahead and move into adding on the landing gear. Alright guys, going ahead and moving into the landing gear. The landing gear is super simple to make, and let's just go ahead and jump into it. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go into this bottom section here and doing the front wheel. We're going to count back down the center, 1, 2, 3 blocks back. So our third block back, we're going to place down a stone brick wall that drops down like so. On the bottom of this stone brick wall, we're going to place down a polished andesite top slab with a black block of coal to both sides, and then a light gray banner on the side of these blocks. So this is going to be a custom made banner. As you can see here, this is a light gray banner with a black border that goes around it and a black stripe there for the center. Pretty simple to make. I'm not going to cover that how to make it into a loom, because I'm pretty sure you guys can make it pretty easily, as it's a really simple banner design. But this is going to go on both sides of the blocks of coal there, just to make them look a little bit more wheel-like. Now also in the inside here, we want to go ahead and break this stone brick block, or that stone block, this block here, and we're going to basically make the inside here with some polished andesite like that, and that will basically do that for that. Actually, this right here is going to be a polished andesite full block. We're going to place down a lever on the bottom of it and fold it back like that. So really that's it you need to do for the front wheels. Pretty simple stuff. For the rear wheels here, we're going to go ahead and go to this section here. We're going to place down a stone brick wall that drops down from the stone block, a polished andesite top slab on the bottom of that wall, and then a block of coal to both sides. On the back here, we're going to place down a lever, have it flick toward the stone brick wall, and we're going to take our light gray banners that we made and place them down on both sides of those blocks of coal. And that right there is going to basically do it for the rear wheels. And you're going to go ahead and take that same design and do it to the air side, and once you have that done, you'll basically have your landing gear there complete for the aircraft. And with that will cover both my landed and in-flight versions here for the SA-330 Puma. Hopefully you guys do enjoy this aircraft and are able to put it to good use. If you do end up using this build, I do ask that you guys give me proper credit for it. This will be anything from a solid build to my channel or this video with this prank and social media sites. As long as you guys give me proper credit for the build, you're free to use it for projects you guys are working on. Overall, enjoy the build, have fun with it, and all that fun stuff. But with that, thank you guys again so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Gary204, and I'll see you guys next time.